Hello
and welcome to the first How to Stay Married so far of 2026. Here we are.
We've been through a lot.
Choice.
No other choice
Than to do another year.
Fucking hell, got no other choice but to... Yes, I know what you mean.
To go into a new year,
I know what you mean.
Not feeling particularly like amazing.
We're on the edge of thermonuclear international war.
Yes.
NATO's falling apart.
So we're feeling a little bit strange.
Yeah.
But so are a lot of people, because the 5th of January was yesterday, the day that most people... the busiest day for family lawyers.
Divorce Day.
Yeah.
It's affectionately
Divorce Day.
Yeah.
So we
innovatively called.
So we chatted a bit about that yesterday, didn't we, on Coffee Moaning, which is our daily show, goes out more or less 10 o'clock every morning on our YouTube channel.
Also a podcast.
Yeah, so check us out there. And so we thought, we chatted a bit about it yesterday, didn't we? We chatted more from the perspective of us and marriage guidance counsellors and the particular things that we discovered. But today I found this study from Harvard University. It's quite a long study, wasn't it?
85-year-long study.
Year-long study.
Which gives it real kind of sort of kudos, because then it's
weighty, man.
Some of the greatest things take a long time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we come to you with just like some airy-fairy fuck-off Instagram shit with terrible music. But it's fun, and but this, we've gone full weight.
We have, and before we get into this,
Divorce is a serious issue.
Divorce is a serious issue, and I would be lying if I didn't say that we've had a really turbulent festive season. Those of you who follow the channel, follow all of our other content, will be aware of what's happened. But equally, Christmas and festivities, and the reason Divorce Day, I guess, is the first Monday of every new year, is because Christmas is an incredibly challenging, potentially tense, potentially lovely. I mean, we often hear about Divorce Day. We don't hear about all the couples that have stayed together and have come out of Christmas, perhaps happier, perhaps a little bit.
It leads, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. But it would be no exaggeration to say that we couldn't have had, I think, potentially a more stressful Christmas.
Not on the day, but the run up.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But despite all of that stress, most marriages would have really crumbled at that. We had a couple of moments where we had some really kind of blazing rows, big fallings out. And what I like about some of these points that you found in this Harvard 85-year study is that I can even reach back to some of the arguments we had where we actually enacted some of these. So there's something about this that I think is quite encouraging and hopefully useful.
Because I found this quite a while ago and I can't remember some of it. So
right, okay.
And remind the listener.
But
I do, first of all, why don't we just talk about why we think
people divorce.
Christmas is such a... I think the thing is that because Christmas is often a time when there's so much expectation, romance, or the chance to really bring the family together, and I think it's just set up for so much disappointment. And then, of course, there's enormous pressure to not argue and to not appear anything than perfect. It's Instagram versus reality hell. And so I think that people just get to the end. It's just like, I just can't take this anymore. And it's just...
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people hang on to after Christmas.
Could that account for why you're pulling Christmas decorations down with gay alacrity?
No, I'm putting them down because it's the 6th
of
January.
Right, okay.
And it's time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think also, I've just done my top 10 and top worst films of 2025. And the word that I kept using actually as part of the problem is it's not necessarily whether a film's good or bad. And this relates to Christmas and I think the pressures on relationships. It's the overhype that sometimes a film can really do it a disservice. And I actually think the overhype that is inherent with Christmas puts an enormous pressure on all relationships, however good they are, because you've got these huge, high exacting standards to reach to, whether they be economic, financial, physical, bodily, emotional, familial, relationship, every...
And lots of extra work.
Yeah.
Hard work. For a lot of people, extra boozing, more going out.
Addictions, all the rest of it.
Yeah, everything. It's fertile ground for everything to fertilise.
So it's not surprising that it is actually it's a great stress test for love, December. But shall we move through these? These are their findings from this 80. I wonder if all of the people they analysed reached 85 or whether they died en route. Anyway, that's just one of those odd things that I think about. Okay, well, number one, the first finding from this 85-year study showed that long marriages don't last on movie-style feelings. And there's me talking about the worst films of the year. But on the ability to live with someone's quirks. Couples who stayed together for decades, didn't try to retrain each other. One woman said, "He's been snoring for 40 years, and I stopped fighting it. Acceptance, not flowers or serenades, was the foundation." Does that mean just tolerating
it's
shit?
a fine line, though, isn't it?
I was going to say.
Because acceptance, I mean, if you think about the prayer that I love, which is the Serenity Prayer, you say it, Mark.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
And I think that prayer, you can take God out, we're not religious people, but, you know, a power greater than yourself. If you actually take this prayer into that first one, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting, just to pause on
what
that.
if he's got sleep apnea?
Well, then you really accept it. You feel sorry for it.
No, you try and get him to the doctor because he might have a stroke.
Well, yes, but I mean, if you can't help it, you can't help it, though, can you?
No, but you need to, if somebody is like rattling snoring, so there would be, you know, is he just somebody that will always snore because he's got a bit of a, you know, flabby mouth or whatever, you know, or is it because he drinks every night? And so, so for me, okay, that's just an example, but let's use that as an example. There's so many caveats to that.
Well, okay, here's a quirk.
Because actually it's really selfish. Like, I worry so much about my snoring. I got those sticky mouth things. I got the sticky nose
We did the nose things on a vlog, yeah, they're great.
I got the sticky mouth things, but you didn't like it. You thought I was going to choke and die.
I did worry.
Yeah, and I hate that I snore because it's the worst thing in the world is to stop somebody sleeping.
Can I?
And like when you snore sometimes, and you know, I've got up and slept something, you go, oh my God, if I snored. We actually care about the fact that we've kept each other awake.
Yeah.
So there can be really selfish fucking snoring where somebody is drinking a bottle of wine every night.
There's a selfish snorer.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, no,
a
there
snorer
is.
that knows very well that is from drinking maybe like...
Well, I'm thinking of an old father-in-law who was a prime candidate for ending every night over the Christmas period, head back, mouth open, beer next to him, snoring loudly. It was clearly the consequence of too much.
Yeah, and I know somebody as well, somebody else that he's very large, but loved loads of cheese, even though like dairy would make him weird, and drank copious amounts of wine. The house shook when he snored.
Wow.
So if you go to the prayer, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, i.e. put the boundaries
Book him in to the doctors.
And say, listen, you know, we will never sleep together again unless you do something about this. And if it is found that there is nothing that you can do medically, I will try my very best and I will accept that this is part of you.
Okay.
Because I think the suppression exception is that we go, right, there's nothing I can fucking do about it. I'm just going to accept it is very different.
I'm pleased you said that because I think tolerance, or, you know, what is it they say, instead of digging into every... Oh, no, hang on, I put the wrong one up, sorry. The ability to live with someone's quirks. I mean, quirks is such a kind of... The devil is in the detail, isn't it? I mean, what's a quirk for one person is a fucking scene of devastation for someone else.
I mean, you hate it that I take my eyelashes off and put them places. But have I stopped doing it? No. Now, you might say to yourself, well, that's a quirk.
I don't mind your eyelashes, it's your contact lenses.
But actually, I think you should push and go, look, I really don't like it.
I don't... Do you know what? I'll be really honest with you.
Why do I throw my contact lenses on the floor?
I agree.
It's not very nice.
I agree. I mean, the other day, I'm only saying, it's a grown-up podcast, but I was scrubbing away in the bathroom and I found one attached to my left testicle, a contact lens. My ball could see clearer than me. No, but, okay, well, so quirks. I do get a little bit tired that in an 85-year study by Harvard, why do all studies of marriage start with snoring? Why?
Because if you don't sleep, you cannot cope with life.
Right.
It's like if you start with parenting, you start with the fact that you will not sleep.
Yes.
If you get a puppy, you start with the fact you can't, because that's the baseline.
Yes.
You're not sleeping, so
Sleep
everything
deprivation,
else is really, really difficult.
Well, here's a quirk of yours that's come into full effect, I think, in the last 3 months. And this isn't something that you do, because I've got to a point now with you and, you know, finding your bras up the stairs or every single shoe under the dining table. I know I'm as bad, so I see that. I feel quite fondly about that, and I'd only miss it if you weren't here with bits of your eye. There's more of Nadia's DNA in the house when she's out of the house.
People might be wondering what we mean about my contact lenses, because I've got disposable ones,
yeah.
And where this comes from.
But that's why I found it on my left testicle.
I'm just going to tell you something you do not know about
Oh,
me.
okay.
Okay, you ready for this?
Is it rude?
When I first moved from my hard contact lenses to soft disposable,
Yes.
I remember the optician saying to me, they're 99% water. So I used to get this real thrill of flicking them and thinking, oh my God, they're just going to dissolve away to nothing.
In the air.
Yeah.
As they pass through
It'll be
the
like
air.
a teardrop that's going to disappear.
Like a
But over
bogey.
the years, they've done something different to them, and now they don't disappear, but I can't seem to stop doing it.
No, I've noticed. I've noticed.
I mean,
one
I see
quirk.
where it lands.
Well, one quirk I do find annoying is your chewing gum in the door of my car.
It's a bit like sticking bogies under the desk at school.
Yeah.
Shouldn't really
But
do
here's a quirk. And is this a quirk or is this not a quirk? You have started, and it drives me insane, that if I have a very normal, in the context of feeling very calm, but a very normal, oh my God, what do you mean, duh, duh, duh? You immediately do what I think is the female version of mansplaining. You go, don't panic, don't need to get stressful, it's like, I'm not. I'm literally modulating the height of my voice for a nanosecond, and I'm a man. Every woman in this household has hysterical reactions to everything. I don't go around going, you calm down. It was like David Cameron. And I noticed over Christmas, almost with everything, if I have a response that isn't chiming with yours, you immediately says, calm down. No need to get stressed. Is that a quirk?
No, it's me absolutely sick to death of you being really anxious about every single thing.
I'm not,
reacting
though.
Massively.
No, you've not heard what I've said there at all.
No. I've heard what your story is. My story is you panic about everything, and you need to know everything in that second.
You assume
and it drives me mad.
You assume any modulation in my tone of voice is panic, and it's not.
You do not know yourself.
Oh God.
See, now you're going to check out.
No, I'm not.
You don't know yourself.
Yeah, but is there no merit? So I have no merit to my genuine grievance that is actually bugging me every day of the week.
You react so quickly. You don't respond.
Yeah, no,
you
listen.
always react.
Listen. I will
And I
agree
get
with you on
tired of
occasion,
it.
but I think you need to remove this quirk.
I'm not going to do it.
Of every time I have a response. Sometimes
don't
there
do
are
it every
situations
time.
where
You're
it's
exaggerating.
sometimes there are situations where it's relevant, like to use your horn in the car. It's okay. Sometimes it's okay. It's been designed with a horn to be used. It's all
Why are we
right.
talking about horns?
Because I'm using that as an analogy for the fact that sometimes my
jump.
response is appropriate.
This is where you go wrong.
No.
You're talking about one thing and you jump to
I'm using an
horns,
analogy.
Right, which is a totally
I'm using it
different
as an
concept.
analogy.
I don't want the analogy. I want the analogy.
Sometimes,
You've asked,
okay, I'm not going to let go of this.
I have found it very, very irritating all through our marriage, the way that you panic into things. Like, answer them now. I don't like
I get
it.
that.
You transfer it to me.
I get that.
So I will
I'm
stop
willing
saying
to
don't
accept
panic, but I will find a new way of making you stop when I feel like you've bombed me with your anxiety that I don't want put on me.
Okay. Sometimes, Miss Sawalha,
Scammer.
there are things that
divorce week.
genuinely, in anyone's stretch of imagination, would respond, oh my God, you're joking.
course.
And you turn around and go, everyone, you did it with your parents the other day, everyone stay calm. It's like, hang on a minute, you're not the arbiter of calm. We're all just having a human response.
If you think that I think for 1 minute that there is never a time when somebody can panic,
Then let me have those moments.
What I'm saying is you do it for really simple things.
I agree.
Like a message has come in.
I agree.
Have you checked your message? Have you checked my... You literally put anxiety on me. You panic and you panic me. And that's when I say, don't panic. It's okay. And I'm not going to stop doing that.
Babe, I have acknowledged that. I hear that.
Because I've only just started it. But I've put up with it for 22 years.
Hang on, I've acknowledged that and I hear that. But I'm telling you right now, and this is my truth. As godforsaken, this is my fucking truth, as much as I want to always hear yours and try and do something. But I'm saying to you now, you say it when it's not right to say it too.
But you often, because your world is a weird world, right?
No,
so in
so is your world.
In Mark's world, your responses are totally normal. And when you look at your mum and you look at your nan and you see how they responded to everything with high levels of panic,
Yes.
of course to you it's going to be normal. But it's not normal.
I am going to experience things in my
Where's this
life
come? What's it?
that quite
That's the door.
appropriately
It's
require
exhausting.
a dramatic, sometimes, response.
Okay, I think we're going to have to agree to differ.
Okay, number 2, that went nowhere. The second pattern, letting conflicts go instead of digging into every
Well, we
detail.
just did. We let it
Couples
go.
who argued about everything and fought to prove who was right. I love this. It's the old phrase, better to be...
Kind.
That's it, I nearly forgot
And
it.
be right.
Better to be right than wrong, I was going to say. Couples who argued about everything and fought to prove who was right broke apart more often. Those who allowed things to remain unsaid lasted longer. One husband admitted, I learnt to stay quiet when she's upset, and the next day we're laughing again. It wasn't love that kept him there, but knowing peace mattered more than winning.
You see, this is another... I don't agree with this 85-year study so far. I think the thing is, yes, I think kindness... I think sometimes, like, there's this couple that I follow, and I've shared clips of theirs a couple of times on Coffee Moaning, and they're American, and they're in their 60s, and they do all these funny things where he talks about all the things that she said to him that if he said to her, he'd be pulverised. Things
Like I
are you
just
wearing
did.
those trousers? God, you look at your ass,
Yeah.
And he just laughs and laughs, and she laughs and laughs and laughs.
God, do they do nothing but laugh?
And I always think he's so okay with himself. Do you know what I mean? And he adores her. And whether we like it or not, women do multitask emotionally a lot more than men do.
I think I do more than many men.
Mark?
I do. Many men I've worked
If
with
you
and
are
I
in
know.
your computer working,
Oh no, of course.
and two things happen at the same time.
If you're making a dish
like the
and I ask
puppy
you a
needs
question,
wee,
you have
and
a
the
freak
dog
out.
barks, and you've got your computer, and then if somebody came in and needed, you would collapse. All men do, right?
Okay.
So when
She's making no.
when the really nice men just go, you know what? She's got so much going on.
Hang on, are we talking about
It doesn't
the
mean
really
anything.
nice men who are other than me?
No, I'm saying when really nice men do it, it's really nice when they... I think it's really... I love that indulgence that you see in people where they just go, they just laugh and they don't pick at everything and go, oh, God, because what they're saying there, when people pick at every argument and they don't laugh stuff off. It's like my dad says, unless you can belly laugh at least once a day, unless you can take the piss out of each
but
other
I
in a
agree.
marriage,
I agree with
you
all
won't
of that.
survive. So do I. I'm not arguing with you.
No. But there is threaded into what you're saying here. Those people, those men I like that can laugh things off. Listen, I can tell you for a fact that when you see that on Instagram, and I can't believe I'm having to kind of illuminate you to the realities of life versus Instagram life. He ain't like that all the fucking time. There's
You
a
don't know
moment.
him.
No, yeah, but hang on.
He's lovely.
Hang on. What you're seeing in that loveliness of someone else is utterly unrealistic in the cut and thrust of a day-to-day, everyday. Where and when I might actually laugh at myself, you're more often than not totally inattentive and won't even notice. So that's no score.
This feels like we're going to get a divorce.
No. But when
I don't know how helpful this is.
but
to
when
people.
one
Is
achieves
this
it,
a
when one
Hamster
achieves
Man
it,
podcast?
when one achieves it, I know there have been times where I've thought, oh, just let that go and laugh at it. And it's not about needing the
I
score.
love it when you're like that with me.
Yeah, but you never
I
notice
don't like it. How do you... What?
Because
never,
you've just
you
said there are
so
other men.
extreme.
You've just
You
said
are so
those men
extreme.
who are kind.
You never notice.
No, you said
Is
those
that
men
true?
that are
Did you
kind.
just say to me
Yeah, I
you
did. That was
never noticed?
wrong. Oh, God almighty.
Right,
If
this
I was
is
to home in
another-
on every
this
word
is
you say
another
that's a
problem, though,
superlative.
with arguments. It's like you will say to me, you never, or you didn't ever, or does this mean you've never loved me? It's like, no, it doesn't. Too extreme, too much panic.
I wasn't panicked. There's a classic example. I'm not panicked.
Who is this guy? He's not like this
No,
all the time.
no,
It feels
listen,
very much
no,
like
no.
you're talking about somebody else and not talking about...
I wish you laughed at yourself a bit more. Genuinely. I mean, like, I think
I
sometimes
know,
a
we
lot.
aren't talking about laughing at myself. I'm talking about them laughing at the other, laughing it off. We're not talking
You
about
don't laugh anything off with me.
Oh my fucking...
You don't let
you
anything go.
Really?
Well, no, you will let a lot go.
Really?
No, and I'm sure you're about to tell me how much you let go.
No.
It's not about that.
I don't
But
want to
you
correct
laugh.
you sit with whether you think that's true or not.
No, but you don't. This is bonhomie. I don't see
Hang on,
you engaging in
hang on.
bonhomie.
Sit with the fact that I never laugh anything off or never let anything go with you.
No, you do. But you're not as bonhomie as you used to be.
No one is.
That's all I'm trying to say about this
No
chap.
one is.
Neither is this chap. Just because you've seen him on a
forgot him.
Thursday.
Why are you still talking about him? He's an Italian-American,
He would be Italian. Of course he's Italian. He's got no responsibilities. He's just walking around a restaurant serving people,
Mark,
drinking coffee.
that's actually racist.
I know. Okay, number 3. Another hidden factor was recovery speed after fights. Harvard psychologists found that in strong marriages, there was always one partner who made peace first, even if they felt right. This is a tricky one for us. It looked like sacrificing ego for calm. As a result, these people had better health, clearer memory, and higher life satisfaction. Not romance, but a working mechanism.
Again, you see, I think it's about ego, and people may always misunderstand ego. They think ego is just somebody that just loves themselves. It's not. You have to have very low self-esteem to have ego. You have to have insecurities to have ego. So ego will come in to protect because fear and flight comes in. So that's where couples go wrong. The ego comes in, and if you actually look into the detail of what you might be arguing about, it's like, do you really care that much? But you can't let go of the defense. So again, you know, from a woman's point of view, when men are like that, it's got low battery. When men, I think it's a great sign of confidence when a man doesn't have to defend everything. Do you know what I mean? I think it's really attractive when somebody isn't madly defending, and it takes the wind, it takes all the noise out of a situation.
There's a clear portrait coming through here of what you like in a man, potentially, is a man who laughs away at all of your indiscretions, but also isn't too concerned about.
Are we talking about?
Isn't too concerned about being proved right.
This
it's
is
like
study.
are we talking
this
about?
A Harvard study that we are supposed to be responding to. What do we like about this? You can also say what you like. If you haven't got anything to say, that's your fault.
I've got fucking loads to say.
Fucking say it then.
I'm saying. What do you mean? I'm stop talking. I'm not wounded.
You are wounded.
I just think
it just seems like you want it somebody else. You're doing the very fucking thing.
Oh my fucking Christ! The point here is being able to sacrifice ego for calm. Who would you say of the two of us tries to make peace first? Be honest. Who tries to make peace, whether it's the right time, whether it's
You're
the time.
trying to make peace is horrible. Because it's...
Unless I was laughing at myself and being nonchalant about what you've done wrong,
it's
it'd be
out
fine.
Of panic, because it's not born out of... So you want to just put a carpet, you want to put everything under the rug, you want to quickly put a plaster on a festering lump, just so that you can feel okay for a minute. And that's kind of addict behaviour. It's like, just for now, just make it feel like okay, just for now, because I'm so panic stricken. And I understand it, because again, I say it's like, it's your childhood shit, but it's like, I can't do it. It's like we were talking about this yesterday on Coffee Money. I can't do a fake sorry. I can't do it. Time needs to just let it dispel and let it process.
Yeah, no, I get that.
You always want to rush me to a
No, I
place
do,
of,
I do.
now can you just tell me that you love me? And it's like, well, no, not at the minute, because I don't feel it, because actually I'm really pissed off with you.
We had a row, and I engaged in absolutely that process of letting go.
And how did I respond?
It was great.
Straight away.
I'm probably going to do it like that again.
And why? Because it was authentic.
Yes, it was authentic.
And
but
when you know the difference, Mark. Like sometimes
no.
You will apologise, and I'll say I don't really. It's okay, just leave it.
Because
I know it's not. It's born out of panic to just make everything all right, rather than like an understanding. And I don't think. That's what I was saying, Coffee Money yesterday. I don't think that every single time a couple argues, one person has to be sorry. I think sometimes we can both feel not sorry because it was stuff that we want to say. Now we could say, oh, I'm sorry the way I said it, or I'm sorry it ended up like that, but actually I'm not sorry for what I felt or what I said. And I think fake sorries is the difference of like suppression or acceptance. Because why the hell should two people that have to live together for such a long time be expected to agree on everything?
I agree with that, but I would say, and I think this is a general fact for women, that although one can easily say, look, we don't have to agree, we can, I hate the fucking phrase, agree to disagree.
Well, okay.
Because
Why-
hang on, let me
why do you
finish what I'm
hate
saying.
it?
Because if I'm saying,
Yeah,
I'm
go
saying
on,
why.
tell me.
The reason I hate it is because it's invariably said by the person who feels they're right. Because that's their way of saying, well, we're just going to have to agree. It's like
depends how it's
I
said.
believe you, but millions wouldn't. Yeah, but
It
by and
depends how
large,
it's said. No,
it's
but I
usually
think
said.
you-
I would never ever want to say as a resolution out of something, let's agree to disagree. What I do like about, and I've noticed you have said it a few times in rows that we've had in recent months, I do, and up to the point that I actually paused with it, I think, on the row over Christmas and thought, wow, actually there's something incredibly powerful in the idea that one doesn't actually have to be on one's belly apologising for anything. But yes, like you say, apologise if you've said something too strongly. Apologise if you bombed or didn't mean to bomb, but your behaviour has in some way kind of hijacked a situation. But if your feeling or something that you're worried about is real, then own that, stick with it, and choose a better way of kind of talking about it. But I do find that we'll have to agree to disagree. Just going back to your thing though about always wanting a fake sorry and you just want to sweep it under the carpet. That isn't just born of the addict wanting to kind of just anything's better than nothing because I just need the fix. Sometimes that's about, if we can do a little bit of just making things, and this is about upbringing of uncertainty, fractured kind of environments. And I'm not exaggerating when I say rows would often lead to, suitcases being filled and out on the street and charging around streets. And so the connection of, oh my God, not like that's literally going to happen here, but the connection to the foundations of everything suddenly feel fragile is baked in primarily. I think sometimes what I'm after, and this is a genuine part of that, which I think you characterise as maybe being swept under a carpet. Part of that is I just want to ensure a degree of certainty here before we don't have to make up. We don't have to make up completely, but can we just agree that this isn't fucking earth-shattering and going to fucking nuke the world? And that's what I think, not all the time, but I think that's sometimes what's creeping into a desire to just make a quicker connection of some form. It's not about fake apologies.
I think the thing there is quick. And I think what's wearisome with many years of marriage is when does trust actually arrive for me?
It's always
That's
there.
how I feel.
Yeah.
No, it's not there because
Not in a row.
it feels like unless I really quickly come to some sort of agreement to make you feel better, you're going to feel like the whole relationship is broken. And I'm like, we've been here 23 years, we've got 2 kids, we've got this life, we've got this. Why do I always have to feel that I have to pull you back from the fear that it's all going to break up?
Because
Now, I understand that in the early years, right? But I think that there should be some relief from that as you've
I think there is some. We don't argue. Yeah, we don't argue as much, I would say.
It's like I just wish you could get to a point where if we have a massive argument, you don't think we're going to break up.
No,
Because there's been enough time.
No, I don't. But I suppose the incoming, and this is the problem of being ADHD and an overthinker and everything else. The other thing that I always have coming in, given that this is the longest relationship either of us have been in, is that longer term relationships, and yet the media feeds you with stories all the time that, longer term relationships, are we meant to always be with one person? There is the idea that actually relationships just tire. And so I'm kind of almost, this is the new incoming fear sometimes in a row. And I'm not justifying this, I'm explaining it. But sometimes in a row, I can't help but my brain go to, could there be the DNA in this of something else much more sinister, much more larger?
But isn't that interesting? Because you use the terminology there, that was pushed out in the press, that people become tired. But what you're also saying to me at the same time is I'm repeating the same behaviour for 23 years, right? Because when we were first together, the fear was that I was going to meet somebody else or I was going to run off. Then it was like da da da. Then it was like da da da. It's like every stage. So now the stage is still the same reactive behaviour, but you've just changed the story just a little bit. No. Within your own head, you've changed the story of why I could leave. So now it could be that
it's a different concern.
Different concern. Same thing. Different story, different concern, different narrative, different fearful narrative.
I'm not saying this is good or right, or I'm just trying to understand where it comes from when it happens. And I think, I work on that and I think about that and I do feel more trust and I do recognise that what we've got and what we've built is meaningful. So it's not like all of that isn't there and I don't feel the same levels of disorientating fear and fury and worry, not fury, but fear and panic that, you know, I just don't. I mean, I just don't feel it. I mean, sometimes I feel like you, just weary, and I don't think I'm going to leave you. I just think, oh, fucking hell, this is boring. Okay, number 4, true glue was the us against the world mindset. Marriages that lasted 30 plus years often survived poverty, debt, family pressure, or running a business together. That's been you, isn't it? People said we made it because we stood together against everything else. Not kids, not passion, but shared battles made them unshakable. That experience forged a bond stronger than promises.
Well, that's because that speaks to tribal. And so, like, I have a tribal upbringing, you know, my dad being Arabic, my mum being from Surrey.
Can I also say that people from Staffordshire are tribal?
Yeah. So, like, that tribal, that Arabic tribal thing that you are, I mean, it's a bit extreme my way, because it's like with my dad, it's like you almost don't let anybody in. Do you know what I mean? But that speaks to me that, you know, that I think I can be very brutal with people that I don't feel a blind loyalty from.
In a relationship,
not in my tribe. Well, friendships as well. It's like, you're not in my tribe. It's like, if I'm going through a difficult point, I don't want you to give me reasons why I might be. That is that kind of like that sort of like
you're with me,
tunnel
you're against
vision, like tribal thing. So that would definitely appeal to me. But I think that's also something that couples need to be really mindful of, because then you're shutting out other voices. Some couples stay together by having somebody else that they're angry with, which is a horrible, really toxic.
Oh, I'm pleased you said that, because that was one of the things I wanted to say.
The rest of the family, it's them against the world, it's them against their neighbourhood. That's toxic. But if it's a shared response to the world and morally and all that stuff, I think absolutely, unless you've got that, I don't think you should hang on to a relationship. Honest to God, if you're such polar opposites in all your beliefs, I think it's very, very hard to have a long-term relationship.
I mean, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit, because we're always very authentic on the channel. We don't sort of do stuff for the sake of it, but, you know, some of the stuff's more formal and more structured, if it's recipes or, you know, film, you know. But I mean, I think we and this is a business as well, and I think we don't give ourselves enough credit or pat ourselves on the back enough for how successfully we run a business together. We run, you know, what we do together, how we've worked together on projects in the past, how we will work on projects in the future. And I think, you know, to be able to do that, I know that there will be elements of where, I know you've said at times, you wouldn't have talked to me like that back then. And I thought, well, you wouldn't have completely ignored my advice back then. You know, there are always shifts and changes in those two things. You don't value my visual eye as much as you used to, and you think that I don't treat you with the respect that a chef should be ordered. No, you don't. No, not in the same way, even though my visual eye is one of the best there is.
We're not going to let this go.
No, we are.
I no longer value your visual fucking eye.
No, you don't look at stuff and go, God, that looks amazing. Look at the way he's dealt with that. You just don't see it. You don't.
Give me an example.
You don't admire my skill set as much as you used to. You just take it for granted, like I do with you. We just both, there is an element of taking each other for granted.
There is nobody with a husband that says as often as me, oh my God, Mark's absolutely brilliant, you can do this, it's outrageous. That's a bottomless pit.
No, around things like filming
your
food.
Visual eye. I'm not.
No.
I am not in awe enough of your visual eye.
No, I didn't say in awe.
Which eye is this? Your anus hole eye?
No, but listen.
The end of your penis winking at me eye?
Oh,
what is
Nads,
it?
careful there.
What is it?
Careful.
What is your visual eye that I am not giving enough attention
No, all
to?
I'm saying is that we both take for granted more often, you know, maybe too often sometimes, what each other's skill set is.
I need you to tell me.
No, I'm not giving you any more examples.
Why you are feeling so hurt about the way I respond to your visual eye.
I don't know. Right, okay.
A load of old shit.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is I think we should pat ourselves on the back for how we've managed to survive all of that and have a relationship and all the stuff that comes with having a family. But what I liked in this was true glue, us against the world. Totally agree with what you said about, I can think of a couple who really their entire success of their marriage was sustained by their mutual hatred of other people. And when those hated people, who weren't hateful people, removed themselves, the relationship fell apart because they didn't have that shared hate.
Some people can silently realise they don't really have a connection.
Yes.
And so they will subconsciously, have a rage together about something, and that's what glues them together. So that's a.
But what I really like about this, and I do agree, is and I just again I'm full of gratitude for the fact that we agree. Our politics, our parenting styles, or our the value system around parenting, education as well. For saying we're from two spectacularly different educative backgrounds, and I'm not using it myself, but levels of education, we are so on the same page when it comes to the value of education, intellect, intelligence, and what all those things mean, in a way that a vast majority of people just don't. So I do feel that glue. I do feel the glue of experience between us. And the final one, 5, one more surprise in this Harvard study, the ability to wait out a crisis. Every marriage had moments on the edge, but those who didn't make rash cuts, do they mean like leaving, often found that after 6 months, the storm calmed. It's a little bit like the financial markets, don't lose your shit when it goes down.
One of my sayings, I've got lots of sayings that my family hate, and one of them is the only thing that's constant is change.
Yeah, I like that.
Everything shifts. And when we're in our very worst times as human beings, it never feels like it shifts. You can feel like sucked down into it, and you just have to remember this will shift. There could be something worse, we don't know, but it's not going to stay this.
Yes, you're absolutely right, and I think it's important to say that it can get worse. The final line is, long marriages survive on patience in moments when it feels like the end. You're right. I think the way in which, and I use it now a lot with, I had a really, I'm sure you guys all noticed, but I had a really, in the middle of the awfulness of what was been going on for Dear Nads and her friend Hannah and the Fab Four, I had a real wobble, just an individual wobble with my bipolar. And the only way I kind of really worked my way through it was simply using that phrase. Change, this will change, this will pivot, this will pivot, this will pivot, this will pivot, this will pivot. It felt like at one point it wasn't going to fucking pivot, and I was going back to my mum's. I was like, this isn't fucking. And then literally, eventually, something caught my eye. It was really nice. I took myself into town, filmed something with my visual eye, and suddenly I was just like, okay, I'm not out, but it's getting better. So it's really useful in terms of mental health. It's really useful in terms of the mental health of a shared relationship too. But also, the idea that if you wait for 6 months, you will come out the other side.
It's not always 6 months.
And not even 6 months.
Sometimes 6 minutes, sometimes 6 hours, sometimes
6 years is a bit long, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you had to go through something for 6 years, you could have had another relationship and another family.
Nothing stays the same for 6 years.
Isn't it weird that after 7 years from now, the same us won't be sat here?
I know. Well,
That
I don't think anyone will be
frightens me.
sat here.
That's true.
Where the world's going.
I'm going to put on some Bjork and think of Greenland.
I'm going to start smoking again. What's the point?
Oh, what are you going to smoke? Just smoking or smoking spliff?
Just must start smoking fags.
Really?
Why not? It's the end of the world, isn't I?
I might just start taking MDMA.
We're joking about all these things. Anyway, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button. I'm so sorry if you went through our row with us. But as we always say,
It was a journey.
we don't want to ever do podcasts where we don't prepare for them. We don't say anything. We don't
Clearly.
know what we're going to say. And that's what an authentic podcast is. So that's what we'll always do. Whatever the cost is to us and our marriage.
Bye, everyone.
Lots of love.